Are we rolling? Yes, we are. What's up, guys? It's your boy McKinley Crain here, and today I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free review of the most recent Amazon superhero show, which is, I'm going to be reviewing the whole season 1 of this show, because season 1 just ended. And that show is the 2021 action show, Invincible. So, Invincible is an adult animated series, and it's an action series, and it stars Steven Yeun as Mark Grayson, aka Invincible. Who's a 17-year-old boy. So yeah, my age, because I'm 17. Who, who basically has this father, so his father, for as long as he's known, has been a superhero. And his father's name is Nolan Grayson, aka Omni-Man, and he's played by J.K. Simmons. And, Mark's powers were supposed to, come in his life, but, they hadn't come yet, and all that, and he was starting to think that he would never get his powers. But then he gets his powers, one day. And so he goes home, he tells his parents, and, Omni-Man starts training him. And he becomes invincible. And a lot happens in this series. A lot of stuff happens in this series. Invincible fights a lot of villains. He meets a lot of fellow fellow superheroes like Adam Eve. He fights a lot of villains. He finds out a lot of stuff. He gets hurt a lot. And he does a lot more, but I can't get into a lot of stuff because a lot of stuff is in the spoiler territory. It's in the spoiler territory, in the spoiler-free review, so I can't get into it. Anyway, I can tell you that I love this series, and I love this season. This is a perfect season. This is a perfect series. Every episode of this series and every episode of this season is perfect. This show blew me away. When I heard about this show, before it came out, when I heard that it was coming out, I was just like, well, I'll watch that. I mean, that looks good. But I didn't expect it to be as perfect as it was. Well, I didn't expect it to be perfect. I didn't expect this show to be perfect at all. But I remember, so on the day when the first 3 episodes were released, I watched the first episode on, on the day it was released, and then I watched the second and third episode the day after they were released. They were all released, because of time. I was blown away. I was just blown away. I just loved this show. I thought it was perfect, and I still think it's perfect. Every episode of this show is perfect. It's awesome. I really love the decisions that the show makes. I love what happens. I love the writing. I love the story. The story is gripping and intriguing AF. It's just awesome. It's awesome. I love it. It's just super fun. The characters in the show are just so damn likable. Sorry, I had to say it. This show's just awesome. I love it. It's got great action scenes. It's, just got great character chemistry. It's got great humor in it too. Like, the humor in this show was great too. It's got clever writing. It's got awesome, awesome, awesome twists and turns. It's honestly one of the best shows ever created, in my opinion. It's better than The Boys, which is the other Amazon superhero show. It's better than The Boys. I've only seen 2 episodes of The Boys, and I've seen all the episodes of Invincible. So you could probably say, hey, well, you haven't seen all the episodes of the Boys yet, so how would you know? Well, I can just from what I can tell. Well, from what I can tell, the 2 episodes of The Boys that I saw were perfect, but they were nowhere near as perfect as any episode of Invincible. Invincible is just perfect. Perfect. It's perfection. It's gripping perfection. It's awesome. I love it. It can be very emotional, very touching, very gripping, very shocking, very intense, and just all in a great way, of course. This show just blew me away. It was perfect. I loved it. It was awesome. It's better than a lot of other, DC and it's not a DC or Marvel show. It was actually based on it was actually based on the Image comic series Invincible. So it's not DC or Marvel. But it's better than a lot of DC and Marvel TV shows. And it's great. Anyway, I just love the way that this series has gone, like the directions and everything, and I love this story. The story is just golden. The writing is golden. It's awesome. It's full of a whole bunch of bad A moments. And in case you're wondering, this is not a show. I already said this, but this isn't a kid's show. It's an adult cartoon. It's got a lot of violence and language and off-color humor that wouldn't be allowed in a kid's show. And it's got mature and dark themes that wouldn't be allowed in a kid's show. Anyway, it's an adult cartoon, and it's one of the best adult cartoons. I actually think this show kind of changed adult animation forever, and superhero shows forever, and just television forever. Because this is just awesome. This is perfection right here. Is this my favorite superhero show? No, but it's one of my favorites. Is this my favorite show? No, but it's one of my favorites. Is this my favorite Amazon original show? Yes, it is. This is a Prime original. This was just awesome. It blew me away. It's perfect. The show is perfect. It handles its character development so well. Just so darn well. And just so perfectly. And it handles just handles the story so perfectly. And it's incredibly fun to watch and incredibly intriguing. And you actually care about the characters in this show, even the villains. You care about what happens to them, and these are all very lovable characters. Like, all the characters in the show are, like, lovable in their own way. And, of course, Mark Grayson is the best character in this show. But, in my opinion, all the characters are lovable. And I love this season, and I love this show, and this show blew me away. It exceeded my expectations, like, by a long shot. It was everything I could ever want and more. Sure, some episodes are better than others, but they're all perfect. They're all perfect, and they're all just intriguing and just awesome, and they're filled with powerful moments. And I love this show, and I can't wait for season 2 to come out. Anyway, I'm going to give this show 100% out of 100%, which is the equivalent of an A+. Like, subscribe, join the notification squad. I will return.